Thanks for tuning in to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Here you'll find tips, insight, and information to help your music and your ministry succeed. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a songwriter, we want to help you where you are, but we also want to help you get to where you want to go. We believe that our talents are God's gift to us, but what we do with those are our gift back to God. Yesterday's information is important, but what we can learn today will make this the best day yet. Hey, welcome back to the CNS podcast, The Best Day Yet. Thank you for tuning in today. Super excited about today's episode. We have a special guest with us today. We have Landon Farris from Sidney, Arkansas. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? All right, Landon, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
All right, well, that's what I asked you to say. Okay, so listen, I'm excited about having you on here, Landon, because we're going to talk a little bit today about kind of what's happening in your life right now and in your music, which is what I'm super excited about, and super man, just proud of you, Landon. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thank you.
So, okay, let's start here. Who is Landon Farris? Let all these people know who Landon Farris is.
Well, I'm 16 years old and I live in a very tiny town in Arkansas, and I love Southern gospel music. And I mean, there's not a whole lot more to me.
That's pretty awesome. So, I think what's enjoyable for me in doing this today and watching you the last several years is you're 16, as you said. Do you even have your license, Landon?
I do.
Okay, good. Okay, that's probably what you'll end up doing next. So in the last 3 months, you've played the piano for the Kingsmen. You've sang tenor for the Kingsmen. So maybe that's the next stop. You'll end up driving the bus for the Kingsmen since you do have your license.
Well, the other two were probably more enjoyable.
Okay, so here's I think what is really neat for me. We'll talk about CNS a little bit in a minute, but I want to talk about you first. But growing up in this school at 16, I think I literally, which at times is scary, I literally see myself when I look at you at this stage of your life at 16, kind of having a dream, kind of wanting to do something. And that was me at age 16. And that got to happen for me. And you're starting to get a glimpse right now. Let's just call it, you're kind of seeing the appetizer to the main course. So today's title of the podcast is Tomorrow's Talent is Here Today. And that's kind of what we're seeing out of you. I have told people, we've known you, I guess now what? You've been to 3 CNSs, right?
Yes, sir.
So CNS 22 was your first. So that would have
23.
23 was your first. Okay. Yep. 23, 24, 25. Okay. So, okay. So 3 years. A lot has happened in just the last, so 3 years of school. A lot's happened in the last 3 months.
Right.
So I remember sitting on my couch one night and I got a text and I looked down and it was Devin Ramon. And Devin used to teach. He was former staff member at CNS, and he was in Fort Worth at Battle of the Songs. And he sent me a picture. It was a really cool picture. It was you with the Kingsmen and Gold City at like a step and repeat banner for Battle of the Songs. It must have been in the lobby somewhere.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It was before the concert. People could buy VIP tickets or something and take pictures with the groups. and meet and greet and
So
stuff.
you didn't play with them. You just paid to get your picture taken with them. No. So Devin sent the picture and said, guess who's playing piano for the Kingsmen tonight? And I'm like, what? What? How did that happen?
Well, um, the Kingsmen were going to be. This was the very beginning of May. I
Okay.
think the first date that weekend was May 1st, and the Kingsmen were going to be real close to us on that Thursday. Their first date for that weekend, and it was the first weekend without their tenor. And so Brady Jones, their bass singer, texted me and asked what day I was going to see him, and I said Thursday. And he started telling me that Blake Buffin was going to be there, and then filling in on Thursday and Friday. And then later he asked me if I would just go with him the rest of the weekend. He said we might still could use you because Blake's not going to be there Saturday and Sunday. And so when we went to the concert on Thursday, they just picked me up and took me with them the rest of the weekend. And Friday in Fort Worth, Blake was still there, so I played the piano. And then Saturday and Sunday, I sang tenor.
Okay. So you originally went out to sing for them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
I
actually didn't
thought,
know till uh, I woke up that morning on the bus on Friday as we were headed to Fort Worth. And Alan said, "Do you think you could play along with the tracks tonight?" I said, "Well, sure." So
you know what you should have told him? Said no, but the tracks can play along with me. Okay. Are you you know, I, they won't listen to this, so answer this honestly. Maybe they will, and if they will, Alan needs to be brought back down to earth every now and then. Were you a big Kingsman fan before this weekend?
I was.
Okay, okay. So you knew their material. You knew their
I
stuff.
did. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Good, good. Not a question I was going to ask, but we will while you're here. Are you first and foremost a quartet guy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's all the very first people that I ever remember listening to was the Mark Trammell Quartet.
Okay.
I
Okay.
had a DVD I watched over and over, and I'd stand on mom and dad's bed when I was 2 or 3 years old with my toy mic and mic stand and guitar. And every time Mark would put his bass on and take it off, I'd do the same and take my mic out of the mic stand when they did and sing every word with them. But
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I was going to ask you your influences. So definitely Mark Trammell. Okay. Now,
yes,
have you have you gone backwards now that you're 16? Have you looked previous groups prior to the Mark Trammell Quartet?
oh,
Like, have you gone back into
absolutely.
history and looked at groups that came prior to Mark Trammell? So
Absolutely.
what groups
Uh,
there?
my favorite quartet lineup ever is the Cathedrals with Mark Trammell and Danny Funderburk.
Okay. Yep. That's
After that would be Gold City in the late 90s with Jay Perrick and Jonathan Wilburn and Mark and Tim Riley.
okay. Okay. That's a two great lineups. That Cathedrals lineup is um, one of my all time favorites. This household, you got to understand the Novell house growing up. It was the Blackwood brothers and everybody else. Um, so me and my dad used to go back and forth. He was a huge JD Sumner fan. I was a Tim Riley fan, and we used to have some moments of what we called intense fellowship, discussing who was the best bass singer of all time, JD Sumner or Tim Riley. I was a Tim guy, and Dad was definitely a JD guy. Okay, so do you remember?
So before the next question, I forgot to mention this when you asked earlier, but the reason that they asked me that place to go with them when I was 9, I went to a Kingsman concert, and I think we were sitting on the first or second row, and I was just sitting there singing along. And at the end of the concert, their baritone and MC at the time, Randy Crawford, uh, he said, "I want to do one more thing before we finish," and he called me up to sing a song with him.
Oh, very
And
cool.
so ever since then, anytime I've gone to see him, I've sang one or two with him, and so I had gotten to know them that way.
Okay, okay, very cool, very cool. Um, Um, I thought you were going to interrupt and say that you forgot to mention Perfect Heart in the lineups of your favorite quartets. No, we won't go there. Okay, so do you remember? So you were two. Did you say you were two on your mom and dad's bed with your toy microphone?
Yes, sir, somewhere around there.
Are there pictures of
Probably.
this?
Um, I do have a picture actually of me singing into my mic.
I need you to do me a favor and text me that at some point.
I can do
I,
that.
I will not do anything I should not do with that
Okay.
besides post it everywhere.
And I've got one of Mark Trammell holding me when I was about that same age.
That's awesome.
I think too.
So, do you remember? Okay, well, hang on. Let me ask you this question. Um, I said a while ago, and I believe this, Landon. I, I am prophetically speaking, not pathetically speaking here. You are going to be you're tomorrow's talent today. So, with that, we've talked two different things. We've talked your singing and we've talked your playing. Is there a preference? Is there a path that you would want to go down, or are you just open to whatever God has in store for you?
I would definitely be open to whatever he wants me to do. But I think if I could choose, um, I'd like to do a little of both. But I think maybe kind of something like Josh Singletary does, where he's
Okay.
primarily up there singing with the other guys, but every once in a while goes and sits at the piano and plays and stuff.
Okay. Okay. Very good. So, we've talked a little vocally. Do you remember that DVD, who the piano player was in that era of Mark Trammell Quartet?
Well, they didn't have a piano player then.
Okay.
This was right when the quartet started, but I think the first three songs, Greater Vision was there too. Not on the DVD, but they sang before them at that concert that night. And I think the first three songs Gerald Wolfe played.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, so educate me. Was Trevor then, was he their first player?
He was not, I think, I hope nobody that knows listens, but I think Steve Hurst played for just a little bit
When they started?
before Trevor.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Um,
for sure.
all right. So, okay. How, so two, you're on the bed singing. I'm still waiting on that picture. So, um, when, so I know a little bit about your background, but educate everybody else. When did you start playing or singing in groups, and what group was that?
Um, well, I don't really know when I started playing the piano. I think it was probably when I was 7 or 8, and my grandma taught me some. And then after that, I started taking lessons by FaceTime. And then now my piano teacher is Dana Simpson.
Okay.
But singing, I've sung as long as I can remember. Uh, but the first time that I ever got to sing with anybody, when I was 7, we went to a Karen Peck concert. And I really don't know how it happened because I was 7 and not really paying attention to any of the conversations around me. But something happened at intermission, and Mom was talking to Karen, and I have no idea what she said. But she looked at me and asked me, she said, "Would you want to sing one with us?" And that kind of terrified me, and I didn't even answer, but she took it as a yes, I guess. And so the first song after intermission, I sang. Um, and so I mean, I thought that was awesome, um, especially being 7. And then after that, when I was 9, I sang with the Kingsmen, and then I've gotten to do that a few times.
Okay. So you sing with your family. When did that start?
Um, I think I was in 3rd grade, so probably about 9. We started singing just at church, and then a couple years later, churches in the area started calling and asking us to sing. Like if their preacher was gone, we would do the service, and different things like that.
So, you haven't shared this, so I'll go ahead and bring it up because it's just a neat little trivia fact for any Landon Farris fans listening today. But my question is how it helps you or influences you in Southern gospel music. You have a twin brother. How does that help you in the big picture of being involved in Southern gospel music?
I don't think it does.
What kind of answer is that?
Well, I mean, I don't know why people think we look alike, but I don't really like that very much.
But I heard yesterday you guys were out in public dressed alike. Isn't that what twin brothers do?
That was not intentional. We just both happened to wear a blue button-up shirt to church.
Listen, there is
And I
nothing.
did look better because I was wearing a tie.
Okay.
So,
There is nothing worse than when two dudes show up to an event that aren't singing together and they're dressed alike. So, no, I feel your pain there. I feel
well, just for the record, me and Micah are nearly 3 years apart. So,
okay. Well, then
not
he,
not even close to
so
twins.
okay, then he's either mature for his age or you're immature for your age because
Uh, I'd never looked at it that way.
no, listen, your brother's very, very talented as well. Um, okay, so uh, okay, let's talk about this because you mentioned this a little bit. Who are some of your influences as players, as piano players?
Um, some of my favorites have been Gerald Wolfe and Roger Bennett and Anthony Berger. Um, I've always liked Josh Singletary. Um, James Rainey definitely has given me opportunities. On I've gone on the Singing at Sea cruise in 2023 and this year, and both times he's asked me to play on the parade of pianos that he hosts.
That's so exciting.
Oh, it is very exciting. This last time he let me play one with Luke Vaught of The Inspiration, so that was a lot of fun. And actually, when we went that first time in 2023, and he heard me play and asked me to play on the parade of pianos, it was after that that he told us about CNS, and so that's how we ended up coming for the first time.
Perfect segue. So let's talk CNS for a minute because I remember that he had literally just got off the boat, and as soon as he could call me, he called me, and he said, "Robbie, I need to tell you about this young man I met on the cruise." And what's also special for me, Landon, watching the last 3 years now, I just really watching where God is moving you and what God has in store for you. Lots of special connections. So if you were to ask me my list of influences as a piano player, it would definitely be my dad, Charles Novell, and Jeff Stice. And the cool thing about how we met you was you came to the Charles Novell School via a Jeff Stice Impact Scholarship.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to kind of officially correct you because those are now two influences on your life because you've attended our school, which is my dad's school, and the first way we met you was via a Jeff Stice Impact Scholarship. So that was 23, and you came and just recently, I thank James again for that. You know, I I didn't know because I know he'd been out with he's been out with Down East, and I knew they were there Friday night. Okay, so hang on. Before I give that away, we talked about May at Battle of the Songs in Fort Worth. You played for the Kingsmen, and then after you left there, you sang Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was May. Then June, I get a phone call right before the school, and we had asked you and your mother to come in to assist us with something a day early, and you guys had to call and tell me that that may be affected because
Well, actually, that was after the quartet show.
oh, that's right. I see. I'm leaving that one out. I forgot all about that. So okay. So yes. So the Father's Day weekend. Father's Day
Yes,
weekend, you ended up playing piano again for the Kingsmen at the Memphis Quartet show. So
yes.
how did that happen?
Well, that was also just another surprise, kind of last minute thing. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and they sang at the quartet show on Saturday. And Brady texted me and said, "You're playing for us at Memphis, right?" Said, "Oh well, sure. Uh, if you want me to." I said, "I didn't know that I was invited." And so I played for them that Saturday night when they sang at the quartet show.
Okay. And then a
And
week later was CNS 25.
right.
And
And
you
that
were,
night while I was at Memphis, Brandon Reese asked me at one point, he said, "Are you doing anything next weekend?" He said, "Because I've asked four other people and I can't get a tenor for next weekend." He said, "I'm not saying you're a last resort." I
but,
said,
but you're
I
fifth on the
said,
list.
"Well, it's okay." I said, "I completely understand."
Oh, that's,
And so it worked out. And so then we called you and then got it worked out to where, because
yep.
they didn't have a date for Sunday night.
Yep.
And so then we got to sing there.
And Brandon called me and it was just super, super exciting because it was our first year at a new university, and I intentionally did not schedule a kickoff concert because we all needed that night for orientation and to walk through and see the new campus. But man, when we had a chance to get the Kingsmen to come by, but B, the Kingsmen come by and one of our own students is singing tenor for them that night. So I don't know. We talked on the phone, and then probably within 30 minutes, Brandon called and we made it happen. So um, I've not really asked you this question, so I'm going to do it in front of all the thousands, tens of thousands of listeners of this podcast, Landon. Um, was that a special moment to be able to sing with them at a place like CNS?
Absolutely. And it made me super nervous with
I understand that.
a bunch of people there that know music. A lot of the staff, when they perform, I hear them say that CNS is the hardest place to sing at.
It's the scariest
Um,
place of the entire year. Listen, that's the only thing I dread about CNS every year is having to get up in front of everybody and do what I do. So I get that. I get that.
and but after we got up there, and even before we had finished the first song, I really wasn't nervous anymore because, I mean, everybody in there was doing nothing but supporting, and it was. Uh, I love my CNS family, and
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. So
there's not.
when I say I see myself in you, I mean that because here's the deal. I grew up in this school as a student, scoping and hoping. I'd see all the groups come in, see the buses pull up, and I'm like, I want to do that one day. And then when my opportunity came, I traveled in a group called Perfect Heart. We kicked the school off for the kickoff concert one year. And looking back, I was able during my stint with Perfect Heart. I played I got to play convention the last year that it was in Nashville
Okay.
before it moved to Louisville, and that was special for me because as a kid that was the stage that I saw and I wanted to get on.
Right.
So I got to play Nashville and then Louisville convention and you know all the big things that were happening back then. But I was terrified when we came to the music school because of where we were and what we were getting to do. Now, full circle for me, Landon, honestly, I probably, um, in this season of my life where God has me now, um, what I'm wanting to do is, as much as I love this music and as much as I love what God's allowed me to do in this music, man, for me now to help push Landon's. And we had 37 young people aged 22 and under at CNS 25.
Wow.
That's super exciting to me because this is ministry for us. And as long as the Lord decides to tell Gabriel not to blow that trumpet yet, there's work to be done. And you know, we mentioned JD earlier. You know the history. This school was given to my dad by JD Sumner, and he said, "Charles, just make me a promise that you'll continue raising up the next generations of singers, musicians, and songwriters." And my dad agreed to that. So when my dad passed in 20 and God said, "Rob, here are the keys. It's your turn to move this thing forward." Not only do I get to move my dad's vision forward, but I get to continue that promise that he made to JD in 1978 to keep raising up the next generation of singers, musicians, and songwriters. So Landon Farris is definitely in that. And then we all met a family from Texas this year, the Kirshner family, first time students at CNS. And what a crazy bright future they're going to have as well.
Absolutely.
And so let's go there. That segues us up to this past Saturday, right? Uh,
Right.
you got the opportunity to do something else for the Kingsmen, and what was that?
I played for him at Jackson Sings the Gospel. It was the last night they
So
were singing.
let's publicly air his dirty laundry. Are you on payroll with the Kingsmen yet? Because over the last 3 months, I mean, come on.
Absolutely not. Uh, one time, Brandon bought one of my meals.
Hey, that's a start. That's a
I mean, he bought everybody's,
Oh, okay.
and I was just there.
There, so he
But
kind of had to.
right.
Understand. Yeah, there's child labor laws, so he could have been in trouble. So yeah,
Well,
you
the
got
first weekend I went with him, when Alan would introduce me, he'd have me come up to where he was standing, and he'd say, "For any of y'all concerned about any child labor laws or that kind of stuff, you don't have to worry about it because we're not paying them."
yeah, you can't turn us in if we're okay. So Jackson sings the gospel Saturday night in Jackson, Tennessee. Now, here's a cool thing because I know you were there, and from what I understand, there was quite a bit of CNS folk around, right?
There were.
Who
The
all do?
Kirshner family was there.
Okay,
They sang that morning in the
that's right.
top
They were
10
in.
of the talent competition.
Yeah.
Um, and we weren't there that early, but we watched it on Singing News TV on the way, and
Okay.
they did amazing.
Okay.
And Mary Beth May was there.
Okay.
Um,
The bowling family came, didn't they?
oh, I did see on Facebook they were there that morning, but they weren't there at
For
night.
the
I didn't
evening.
see them.
Okay. Okay. Um, were oh, somebody else? Was Kathleen Yoder there?
Yes, they were.
The Yoders were there.
Kathleen and her brother Nathan,
Okay.
and
Mom and dad.
mom and dad.
Okay. Amazing people. Amazing people. So here's
And they brought us some food, so
the even better.
even better.
Even better. They bring the Ferris food or did they bring the Kingsman's food?
They brought the Ferris.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, if Brandon got free food there, then that's just not right. Okay, so listen, here's where again, and I honestly mean this from my heart. So last year we rolled into National Quartet Convention. We had 16 students part of artist showcases Monday through Saturday at NQC.
Oh wow.
That's a really cool feeling for me. Now we've got you running around the country breaking child labor laws with the Kingsmen, and then running into our other students that like the Kirshners. They're part of that. And listen, big picture. Here's what they did. There was over 100 demos submitted. The Singing News picked 10
And
asked them to come sing in Jackson, and they were first runner up.
I know.
I mean, crazy,
No,
crazy,
that's amazing.
crazy. But man, Landon, getting to see all this stuff happen, like NQC 24 with 16, and we're going to have a bunch more at NQC this year, part of those artist showcases. Seeing what God's opening the door for you to do, the Kirshner family, all of this stuff that's happening, makes me really, really proud and confirms to me that we're doing at CNS what we need to be doing, to continue my dad's vision and that promise to JD of raising up next generation of singers, musicians, and songwriters. So we talked about James and he getting you into CNS, and we've mentioned a couple times you've been with us the last three. What, golly, kind of a really broad question. What has CNS helped you understand about your music, your ministry, your calling that maybe you didn't understand before you came to CNS? Or
Um,
or helped you, maybe you did understand it, maybe you knew, but it's helped you maybe focus a little bit more on a specific thing. And there's no right or wrong answer here.
I don't know. That's a tough question. Um, I know you won't find a group of more encouraging people
Hmm.
that just genuinely love the people that are there and want the best for them. Um, and that's been huge. I love the people that are there. Um,
So let me fine tune it. What has CNS helped you understand about your music? Has it caused you to focus on what you do in any different way? Harder, um, more
well,
determined,
yes,
more.
I definitely focus on it more and just understanding more that um, this is this is what God has given me to use for sure, and why not try my best to get it to its full potential?
Oh, there you go. I love that, Landon. I love that. I love that. I say it all the time. God gave us His best, and I think hmm, He deserves our best. He absolutely deserves our best.
Absolutely.
I know for me, what as that young kid scoping and hoping, wanting to climb on that bus and finally getting to do that. Um, I CNS was extremely necessary for me in my journey, and helping me focus and realize. Here's the thing. Um, there's all kinds of talent out there, all kinds of talent out there where, and you've been around a couple of years, so you've heard me quote this a bunch. Isaiah 119, if we're willing and obedient, we have to be willing to hear God speak to us, and then we have to be obedient to what he says for us to do. And you've been 3 years in a row. CNS is kind of addicting, you know. It's something that kind of um, once you come, you don't want to miss. And really, to be honest, someone like you on the journey and the path and the road that God's got you on, I think it's pivotal that you don't miss a year, that you keep coming, because each year we have our core staff is pretty much our core staff, but we have different guests that come in on different years and influence. What is your favorite part about CNS? I think you've already answered this.
The people.
Absolutely.
I love being around them. Um, and I mean, this sounds bad, but there was some people that I wasn't just thrilled to come back to after a week of CNS.
Well, you're gonna throw Tara under the bus like that, right here in front of everybody.
No, I like the people at CNS, and I meant people around here that I
Ah,
wasn't
oh,
necessarily,
gotcha.
I wanted to stay there, and
No, I get that.
I definitely don't want to miss a year.
Yeah, it's man, it's here's the danger of missing a year. You miss a year sometimes. Well, you miss a year historically. I've seen people just not return, you know, And is it capable? Is it possible to have a career in gospel music without attending? Absolutely, it is. Okay. However, um, I get the phone calls. Honestly, before I knew that Kingsman needed a tenor, I had gotten 3 calls from industry people that you would know if I mentioned their name, saying, "Hey, it was the weekend you were out with them. It didn't click when you were playing for them at Battle, but when I saw the next night you posting singing with them, then it clicked who they were." Um, this past year, um, I received 8 phone calls from full-time groups saying, "Hey, we need this, we need that. Do you have somebody?" You know. So we get those calls, and now I get to field those calls. But I watched my dad for decades field those calls, and um, people like we have on staff now, Gary Shepherds, were students at the school, and then ended up having just an incredible career himself with the Kingsmen.
Right.
um, so I remember dad getting those phone calls, and we won't get into the names, but man, I could tell you a dozen to 20 names real quick that through the years. And here's the thing. When students come year after year after year, and we not only see their talents, but Landon, here's what I see more out of you right now than your talent. Because if you were completely there, you wouldn't need to come to the school. But one of the cool things for me this year was the fact that you were on stage with Kingsman on Sunday night, and Monday morning you were sitting in classes with beside the students, and that speaks to Landon. That just doesn't speak to the opportunity that presented itself Sunday and the change that happened Monday morning. But man, I have met people over the course of my life that, had they been given the opportunity to sing with a group like the Kingsmen in front of the students, they would have thought there was no reason for them to be a student.
Right.
You know, look, I study, I learn, I practice daily because I want to be better at what I do. We never get to a point where we're totally there. So um, if someone was listening and wondering, hey, I've heard about that CNS, I've thought about it for a couple years. Um, if you could say a couple things as to why someone should come to CNS, what would that be?
Um, I mean, it's not possible to say everything. I mean, it's just something you have to experience. But um, first of all, I mean, for whatever area of music and ministry you're in, there will be something for you at CNS to master your craft. And then also make connections, meet people, people on the staff and the guests, and then the other students and stuff. But uh, definitely people that, well, like you say, it's the right place to ask the right person the right question.
Right. To get the right answer. You're right. You're absolutely right. You said it, the secret to this, besides Isaiah 119, being willing to hear God, being obedient to do what God tells you to do. The secret to this is relational. And
Definitely.
it's building relationships. And then the next step of that, God will introduce you to people, and then it's your responsibility to cultivate that relationship. You can't, Landon, shy away from people that he wants you to have a potentially deeper relationship with. Okay, I don't laugh at me. I'm being I'm being serious right now. Look, I look at, we do that midday meetup at 1 o'clock every day, right?
Right.
I look at the people that came in this year: Sean Barber, Pat Barker, Kenna Turner, Allison Spear, Brian Spear, Billy Blackwoods, Paul Secords. These are all relationships that God's placed in my life. And if I hadn't cultivated those relationships, I can't pick the phone call up and say, "Hey, would you come speak into our students' lives?" Um, Landon, they absolutely say yes when I call them, because they're excited to come speak into Landon Farris's, and our Mary Beth's and Kathleen Yoder's and the Bowling family and the Kirshner family, just some names that we've talked about. They're excited to come speak into their lives because um, they were once where you are. and where the Kirshners are and where the Bowlings are and all of these people. And, um, the coolest thing for me about CNS is it's for everybody. You know, we had a 6-year-old there this year, and we had an 86-year-old there this year.
That is so cool.
We had Baptists there. We had Pentecostals there. Um, we had Southern Gospel people. We had more CCM or praise and worship people there. It's not just for one lane. It's for multiple people. Okay, so any last parting words of wisdom that you want to share with all of these listeners, Landon? So,
Hmm.
so this is audio. I wish they could see your face right now because you look scared to death.
Well, I don't know if I have words of wisdom. I'm used to people. I'm used to other people giving me words of wisdom.
um, if someone's listening, and there was one person that you want them to come to CNS to meet next year, who would that person be?
Hmm. Uh,
It's taking you way too long to say me.
as in me or you?
As in you, not me, you.
Well,
Um,
I would want to meet you.
oh, it's too late. It's too late. You that ship done sailed. You had that opportunity,
I mean, I guess they could meet me too, but
no, listen, we amazing staff. Brian
nothing
Allison
special.
and Billy Blackwood and Paul Secords and golly, we could go on and on. Tim. So tell us a little about that. You had some fun. You got to hang out in a room with who this year?
Tim Owens and Gary Shepard and Buddy Bates.
So
And I think we did a really good job of annoying the people in the room below us, which was Corey and Dana and Marianne and Tara.
good, good,
Uh,
good.
us-
Man,
we
listen.
stayed up. We stayed up one night till 1 or 2. Well, I was listening, but they were telling stories, and that was very very entertaining. Tim said, he said, we should write a book. He said, but it can't be published until we're dead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Man, that's awesome. Listen, Landon, I'm proud of you. Keep doing what God's called you to do, and keep working, keep taking them lessons, keep practicing. Do you practice every day?
I think so. If not every day, nearly every
Okay.
day.
All right. So fix that. Let's get it to every day. All right. Every day.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I know you're serious and dedicated to what you do. And I appreciate that. Listen, I'm proud of you. Thanks for taking time to come
Absolutely.
and
Thanks for having me.
be here on this podcast. Listen, I've never done this when I've interviewed somebody, but I always close the podcast this way. So I'm going to let you close it today. So, as cool as today's episode has been, right? And as much as these people have learned about young 16-year-old with his license, Landon Farris, as good as today has been, they need to listen next week. And why should they listen next week? Because next week is going to be the what?
The best one yet.
Well, best day yet, right?
Next week will be the best day yet.
Well, when we get around to the Tuesday podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, next Tuesday is going to be the best day yet.
There you go. There you are. All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the name the Charles Novell School of Music. And for more information on CNS and our upcoming events, like our online school, our weekend regional sessions, our creative coaching, and our pastor's retreat, you can visit us at our website at www.cnsmusic.com. As you've listened to this episode, we hope that you've gained some information that you can apply to your music and to your ministry to make today the best day yet.